All right, welcome back. Chapter 5, Section 5.2. We're on day 2. And we're going to look at two-way tables in probabilities. We've looked at two-way tables in the past. So, again, here's an example of two-way tables down here. Again, it's just simply a table that you can read two ways. So I can look at, if I wanted to find the number of males with pierced ears. So I go males, yes, pierced ears, would be right there. There's 19 of them. Remember, these are out here are called the marginal distributions. The marginal distributions. And those are in terms of counts, the way this one is displayed. Using these two-way tables, we can sometimes display the sample space in a way that makes probability calculations a lot easier. So we have this example here. We want to be able to find different probabilities now that we know a little bit about probability. And let's first look at the probability that the student has pierced ears. Okay? So we're going to define events A as male, define B has pierced ears. So we look at the different examples we have here. We got pierced ears, we got male with pierced ears is a male or has pierced ears. So we're going to look at all these definitions, all these kind of different ways to calculate probability. And again, here's kind of the key word that we're going to be looking at too. Here is the word or. So let's go on after this first one here. Okay. So each student is equally likely to be chosen. Okay. So we have 103 students that have pierced ears. The probability that the student has pierced ears, since there's 103 out of the 178 is the probability that they have pierced ears. Okay, so that's the probability of B, the person has pierced ears. If we look at the probability of male with pierced ears, okay, so that means we want to find the probability of male and pierced ears. When I say is a male with pierced ears, that's a male and they have pierced ears. So as defined by the events up here, we're looking at the probability of A and B. Okay. So let's look at the intersection of that. We want it to be both male and pierced ears. And that's what we have here. We have 19 males with pierced ears out of the 178. Okay. Now, part C is, we want to look for a male or they have pierced ears. Okay. So we'll want to look at all the situations where they could be a male. Okay. If they're a male, that's that 19 and 71. And if I want to look at that they may also choose a person with pierced ears has 19 and 84. But if you notice what happened here, I would have actually counted 19 twice. So be careful when we count these. Do not count this 19 here twice. Because if I count males, that's 19 and 71. Or pierced ears, that's 1984. I've counted that 19 twice. So be careful not to do that. But we got ways to remember how to do this a little bit better. To remember not to count that part twice. Okay. We have the general addition rule. Okay. So it says we can't use the addition rule for mutually exclusive events unless the events have no outcomes in common. Okay. So, for example, here's our sample space, and this we're talking about. Here's that space here in the middle is where we would have ended up counting places twice. This would be like event A, that it's males, and there were 90 out of 178. Pierced ears, there were 103 out of 78. But you notice if we add these two up, that'd be 193 out of 178, which would be an impossibility. Okay? So we have to look at, where did I double count in here? Where did I double count so I don't count those twice? And don't come up with a probability that's not possible. So here's our general formula for the general addition rule for two events. So again, here's that key word again, or. if I'm looking for the probability of an event A happening or an event B happening, what I could do is I could just add the two, but then you got to remember I got to subtract off that intersection piece. Got to subtract off that intersection piece that we have here, because if I find the probability of A and I find the probability of B, I would have counted this area in here twice. So these are subtracted off once. Well, these are Venn diagrams that we just looked at. You may have seen these in other branches of mathematics, other classes, but let's look at some standard notation that you'd come across when dealing with Venn diagrams. The complement, we go AC, or A complement, as we say. It contains exactly outcomes that are not in A. That's the shaded green region. So we talk about the complement of A. It's what's not in A. Events A and B are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive or disjoint. There's nothing in common between the two. Well, then there's no intersection between the two. And then we could just go, the probability of A or B would be the probability of A plus B, because we don't have to worry about subtracting anything out because there's no intersection. Some more pieces here. Kind of use a little bit different symbology. But the intersection of events A and B is written like this, with this little bridge right here. So that means A intersect B, and that's this part here that's shaded. We have another symbol, the union. What we're going to do is we're going to unite the two. We're going to put them both together. And it's the set of outcomes, of all outcomes, in either event A or B. Okay, so we just add everything together. Just say, what's in the A, what's in the B, and what's in the intersection, and just put all the pieces together. And there's kind of a little hint they give to remember those. Remember this symbol right here, it kind of looks like a U, so it helps you remember its union. This symbol sort of looks like an N, so it's going to be like intersection. Okay, so what we can do is we can do these problems to help display with use a Venn diagram to help display that information, rather than try to pull that information out from the table. So here's this for the more visual learner. What we can look at here is, and what I do when I always start these pieces, is I always start with this intersection piece right here. So I look to see, if I was finding probabilities, A is male, and B has pierced ears. So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to find that intersection. Where's that both? So where is it both male and pierced ears? Male and pierced ears is 19, and that's where I'll start right here. Because then I know the male group, the A group, has 90 total people in it. So what I can do is just do that 90 minus the 19, because I've already accounted for it in this circle here for the males. I've already accounted for 19 in the circle. I want this whole circle to be 90. So 90 minus the 19 gives me the 71 in that group. So then I can also look at this circle right here, and that's the pierced ears. So when I look at pierced ears, there's a total of 103 in that group. Well, I've already accounted for the 19 in that intersection, so 103 minus 19 gives me that 84. And that's what just goes out in this area. That's not part of the intersection. Now if I unite these, if I take the union of all this, I get 174. Okay? Which means there was a total of 178 people in the group. That means I just have 4 people that don't belong to any part of this. They're not male, male, female, pierced ears. So the group out here, this 4 people, are the females without pierced ears. That's that group right there. So there's a little summary. We can put it in the mathematical lingo here. The A intersect B, so A and B. That's the 19 that goes in here. That's the A and B right here. We look at A and not B. So everything that's in A but not in B, so that'd just be this little piece right in here. This is not A, so I can't be in A, but I'm going to intersect it with B. So I'm not in A, I'm not in this circle here, but I want to intersect it with the B, so that'll give me this little 84 piece out here, this little piece right there. And then if I'm not in A and not in B, well, that means I can't be anywhere inside here. That would be that 4 piece right there. Okay. And that finishes up section 5.2 in the probability rules. Probability is a model for a chance process. Again, we have a sample space, and then we have a probability for those different events. Our probability rules, the complement rule, which is 1 minus the probability of an event occurring. The addition rule for mutually exclusive events is simply just saying the probability of A or B occurring is the probability of A plus the probability of B. What we can say is if they are not mutually exclusive, then we've got to remember that we've got to subtract off that probability of A and B occurring so we don't double count. So make sure we can also use two-way tables or Venn diagrams to help you calculate probabilities. And again, that general addition rule right here is really what we have here. I think it's a just a better rule to remember this whole thing, because if they are mutually exclusive, this is really 0. If they don't intersect, we don't have a probability of them being the same or being together. So I think it's just easier to just remember one rule that way. All right, so that should enable you to work on the next section, the last one, 5.2, problems 29, 33 through 36, 49, 51, 53, and 55. All right, we'll see you in section 5.3.